Hi, my name is Josh Zander. I'm the teaching professional at Stanford University Golf Course. Today I want to talk about a very common error I see among better players, and that is getting the club stuck behind you on the downswing. I think Tiger coined the term stuck because he's really struggled with this position throughout his career. I'm going to talk to you about 4 different ways that are going to help you keep from getting the club stuck behind you on the downswing. What does it mean to have the club stuck behind you on the downswing? Well, if you look at my swing here, this club is getting stuck behind me. You can see that it is swinging excessively in to out relative to the target line. Well, this is going to cause 4 different ball flight or contact errors, and I can show you this with a hula hoop. So let's call this swing neutral or in to in, inside to inside. This one would be your stuck position where you're swinging excessively in to out. Now, as I move this hula hoop to the right, it's putting the bottom of the swing behind the golf ball. The hula hoop is now touching the ground well behind the ball. If you do that, obviously you're going to hit the ball fat. If your club bottoms out there but doesn't necessarily hit the ground, it is now ascending into the golf ball, and now you've hit the ball thin. And now you have your ball flight errors as well. You can see how swinging in to out would cause you to push the ball to the right. And if your club face happens to be square to the targeted impact and your path is going to the right, well, that's the definition of a hook. If you're swinging in to out and your club face is at the target, you will hook the ball every time. So there are 4 different ways that I'm going to show you today on how to fix the club, how to keep the club from getting stuck behind you on the downswing. It's how to fix your path. The first way I want you to think about fixing your path is the position of your club shaft at the top of your backswing. Oftentimes I see people who get their club what we call across the target line at the top. Well, almost always a good player will go from across the target line, they're shallow out their shaft, and now the club, as you can see, is stuck too much from the inside or stuck behind you. So what I want you to imagine is that your club shaft is a rifle. And the shaft is the barrel of a gun, and I'm shooting bullets out of the club head end. Well, at the top of your backswing, I want you to shoot back in that direction, not across the target line. If there's a tree or a cloud or something back there behind you, shoot that position. If you do that, it is a lot easier to get the club back in front of you and swinging back around on the proper arc on the way through. This will put the bottom of the swing in the correct position and also keep the ball flight errors from happening that I was talking about earlier. The second way I want you to think about getting the club unstuck, if you will, is taking a club shaft, flipping it around, and having your right arm be on plane with the target line or pointing at the target line. So when I swing back, I'm in that position with the shaft we just talked about. But as you come down, can you please point your shaft at the target line? If you get stuck, you can see that the shaft is pointing above or beyond the target line. So the right arm works more in this position right here coming down where I'm actually going to point it right there. Sometimes I'll even do right arm drills where I'll hit shots just with my right arm to be able to get unstuck, if you will, or get the club back in a better position coming down. And this leads me to the third way of getting your club in a better position on the way down. Do you guys remember that game when you put a coin on your elbow and you just went like that and you caught it? You notice how my right arm is working in this position this way? It's not working this way? Well, that's what's happening from the top of your backswing down to impact. Let me show you what I mean. If the right arm is working more in an overhand throwing motion position, look what happens. The grip end comes into you and the club head gets back out in front of you. That is absolutely a great way to keep you from getting the club stuck behind you. The fourth way is actually my favorite way of keeping the club from getting stuck behind you because it taps into the athlete in you. It's not so much of a mechanical fix as it is, can you athletically do what I'm about to say? And that is, put the ball well forward in your stance. If you put the ball even outside your left foot, the only way to get to that golf ball is to come more in this way. You can almost look at this, it might seem even over the top, and now my club is bottoming out much more forward, the divot's more left, and I can't actually come even close to hitting the golf ball when it's forward my stance if the club is stuck behind me. So for better players, that's the first thing I'll actually do. I'll put the ball too far forward in their stance and see, can you hit the golf ball from there, and they'll get the sensation. So there are 4 ways to get out of this position of being stuck. It's really interesting, having taught golf for the last 22 years now, we're always thinking everybody's a slicer. Well, I think we've done a great job of as golf instructors of fixing slices to the point where we're getting people the other way. I would say the majority of the players that I teach have the club stuck more behind them than are swinging over the top and being chop slicers. What's interesting is you need a little bit of that over the top or chop slice motion in order to get the club out of that stuck position. You can see Tiger working on this right now. A lot of his rehearsals look a lot more this way to keep him from getting stuck under the plane. If you have this issue in your golf swing, try those 4 methods, and I'm sure you'll be back on your way to playing great golf.